Welcome to the We Are Beautiful show, where your voices will be heard with your hosts, Irene Pro and Karen Thomas. We are broadcasting live at Bold Radio, so grab your choice of beverage and let's be heard. Now, here's Irene and Karen.
Welcome to another edition of the We Are Beautiful Magazine radio show with your wonderful hosts, Karen Thomas and
Irene Pro.
And welcome to another edition, our wonderful Wednesday edition. And we are ready to talk today. We are going to be having a conversation cafe, as we like to call it. I think that little phrase is wonderful.
I got my coffee. I got my cup of Joe. I'm ready.
Well, that's fantastic. I had my second one, so I am ready to just let it go from there, because then I won't sleep for a week if I have any more caffeine. But today was one of those days I really needed a second cup, and I'm glad I had it. So I know how you rely on caffeine as well, right, Irene?
No, intravenously.
Yeah, right? Right?
I don't stop at one cup. But I also drink my coffee black. So I like strong coffee, and I'll have, honestly, about 3 cups a day, sometimes 4, depending on where I'm at. But I also drink a lot of water throughout the day, or aloe juice.
See, that's good, because I can have, my problem with this, I love coffee. I love the taste, but I can only have it up to noon. If I drink anything overly caffeinated or coffee after 12 noon, I am up for days. I will lay awake that night, things,
Wow.
my brain doesn't stop. It's horrible. It's horrible, because I do love coffee, but I can't, even a tea. A lot of times my son will get one of those iced teas from one of the stores, or like Dunkin' or something. And I can't even have a sip or two of it in the afternoon, because I will literally be laying there awake.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. No,
It's horrible.
No, my first kiss in the morning is coffee.
Yes, well, mine too. And it's funny, because I found out a couple weeks ago, which I thought was always a fallacy, that if you didn't have your coffee, that you go through withdrawals. And I'm like, oh, please, that's ridiculous. Well, if you recall, a couple of weeks back, or about a month or so back, when I had my surgery, I didn't have caffeine for 4 days. And by that 4th day, I had headaches, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out, why did I have these headaches? I'm like, why? And I finally poured myself a cup of coffee on that 5th day. I didn't have a headache after that. I said, oh my goodness. So I'm a believer.
Definitely. Me going through coffee withdrawal, forget it. You don't want to be near me.
It's horrible.
It is horrible, but I am definitely, I'm a coffee lover. I love a great cup of Joe.
Yeah.
You know how some people go wine tasting? I go
Yes.
coffee tasting. And, I'm going to be honest with a lot of people. I am definitely Starbucks. Dark French roast is my label. I love dark, rich coffees. I love a lot of Italian dark, rich coffees, a lot of the espressos. And I don't drink it in a little, beautiful little tea set. Oh, my God. I drink it in a bowl.
I'll change that.
I drink it in a bowl, So for
right,
me,
with a straw. No,
don't laugh. I'm doing that today. So, Alex made my daughter's home from vacation from college. So she made me a wonderful cup of coffee, and I got a yellow straw in the cup. If I could show everybody, I'll take a picture later and post it.
That is love. That is lovely, because I can't.
Customer service today, and
everybody needs that.
I know. Her birthday's tomorrow. So I'm giving a shout out to my daughter and to my son-in-law, Jesus. Happy birthday. It's a day early.
Oh, lovely. That's lovely. But you did bring up a wonderful topic that we are going to speak about today, which is in customer service. I think that this is such a wonderful topic for our cafe, because this is the single most, in my opinion, single most important thing for any business, whether you are a single solo entrepreneur, whether you are a huge corporation or whatever. It is huge. Do you not agree, Irene?
Oh my God, yes, I do. I honestly, I do. I mean, I handle reputation management, part of one of the umbrellas within the company, and that first phone call, no matter who you're calling or if you have an issue, you
Right.
better, you know,
This is
this is
this
important.
yes, this here is just the single most important thing, which will sway me one way or the other, okay, when working with somebody. And I am even speaking about when I walk into a store. And one of my rules is, and my daughter laughs at me, but one of my rules is, if I walk into a store, and regardless of how I'm dressed, and this is where this is one of the topics, under this umbrella of customer service. When I walk into a store, I expect to be greeted. Okay. Now, when I say that, Irene, I am not saying to you that I need you to fall all over me, to treat me like a princess, kiss my hand, none of that. What I'm saying to you is, I expect to be greeted. So look up from your cash register, or in a lot of times, your phone, okay, and look up and say good morning. Okay, because how many times have you gone into a store or anywhere and they're busy? Now, listen, if they're with another customer, I don't expect them to drop or anything like that. But a simple hello or good morning or anything when I walk into that store is what I demand in order to shop in your boutique, your store, or whatever. And I'm going to tell you something. I have turned around on my heel and walked out after walking into many stores or boutiques and not even so much as gotten a nod or anything. And I've turned around and walked out, and I won't go back.
Oh, wow.
No, I mean, I'm not serious about it. And again, this is customer service and customer relations is huge, okay, for any business. Now let's stop and think about this now. I'm a solopreneur, okay? I'm just me, myself, and I. And if I were to answer the phone very blasé, tired, or just with less than enthusiasm, and just, how would you feel if you're calling me? How would you feel? Your first impression. Again, this is what you're giving off. Your first impression of me shopping in your store, calling your company or business, or what have you. And there's a lot of things that go into the first impression. However, I feel that I am worthy of that attention, and I am worthy of giving that attention to my customers if I want to keep them, or potential customers that are calling.
Right. I mean, I'll be honest. When I call, for instance, say the bank, I hate going through an automated system, and because I have a deep voice, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh," I have to repeat myself. So now I'm like screaming into the phone, so it picks up my deep voice because it doesn't carry, every character, And then I'm screaming into it saying, an agent, I need a live agent, customer service. And then when I get through and I'm already aggravated, I get a nasty person on the line. And you can tell. And because, you listen so much today, you can just know, like, that person on the other end of the phone either hates their job, don't put them on the phone.
Right.
Or they shouldn't be there. And they're just doing it for the money. And it's all about money, Karen. I'm sorry, but it's all about money. It
is, Irene. And, listen to me, and I'm speaking from experience of 16 years as an entrepreneur, okay, a successful entrepreneur, knowing what you need to do to keep the clients, knowing how to draw them in and what to do. You need to consider several things when you're doing a business. Now, for example, yes, money is important. Money feeds me. I love to eat. I love to drink wine. So money absolutely is important to that calculation. Yes, Irene. However,
Speaking of wine, I have a bottle here for you, and it's got your name on it. So,
oh, well, that's good. And then you could send it up, or you could drive out, because I have something I'm sending to you too. But we digress. But what I'm saying is that you need to make sure that you're putting in the effort in customer service. So when your client or your customer has a question or has a concern or has something that they bring to your attention, you need to focus on that. Now, we're all busy. We are all busy constantly with our lives, with our businesses, our work, whatever. Okay, whether you own the business or not, you need to make sure that you're taking care of the client. And I have found lately, several times through emails where I've gotten less than a stellar response from people who are in business that I am paying to do business with, that are just very blasé in their attitude. And they come across to me, Irene, as valuing the money more so than me as the client. And that is a huge, huge faux pas that a lot of people are making.
I have to agree with you on that. And it's very frustrating because all they care about is the money.
And that's not why you should be in business.
But it also reflects you wanting to move forward with that person.
It does. And it really, again, I am not totally, a lot of people, again, with my background with, being an etiquette educator, people kind of get a little uncomfortable with me because they feel that when I, say what I do, or, they know who I am or what have you, they kind of get a little, I don't know, on guard because they feel like they have to be perfect or they have to stand up straight or this. And I am, and you know me, I am so far from that, that it's not even true. For example, teaching yesterday at a college, I was happy to entertain 3 colleges at one college for one of my classes yesterday. And
oh, wow.
Oh, yes, there were 3 there, and they were wonderful. And it was both of them were groups that came in from 2 other colleges that I teach at anyway, but they had this one big workshop. But anyway, going in there, when I start, I say to the people, I notice that when I'm introduced, people kind of sit up a little straighter. They kind of watch what they're saying and watch what they're doing. I say, I want you to be yourself. I want you to be you. You don't have to put on this different persona because I am standing here teaching you an etiquette class or talking to you about it. You need to perfect your own brand, your own person, your own persona. And they start to relax a little bit. And what was funny is being that one of the students in there was from a college that I teach at already, she came up to me and she says, that's why, she says, I love how you teach. She says, I remember your first class. She says, I took it. She says, and it was great. She says, but I was nervous thinking, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Am I, I have to be this way, this and that. She says, and now this is my second class with you. She says, and she says, I'm more at ease. She says, because I know how you are. She says, you're funny, you're witty, you joke with us, you make learning fun, she says, and the subject matter as well. And, I look back at her, I said, look, I said, I am the first one to spill down the front of me if I'm eating, if I have white on, and I try to, what I'm saying is I try to make, and again, this would be one of my clients, this person speaking to me, I try to make them feel at ease. I try to make them feel welcome and at home. And the reviews that I get, and I believe the reason that I am so successful is because I am a real person. I don't walk in there with an air about me because I teach etiquette. I don't pretend to know everything. And again, a lot of times these businesses are just not focusing on the customer service aspect, which can be, like we stated, over the phone or in person.
Very vital, right? But it's very vital for your business because like I said, we handle reputation management. We get reviews for other businesses, big corporations and little ones, and we post live reviews on their websites about their service. And sometimes we will get someone and it's like, I didn't like the manager because the manager was very rude, wouldn't even come and talk to me. And for instance, wouldn't even come and speak to me. I was having an issue and it was just a simple return.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, they were returning it because it was the wrong size. They needed a size bigger. That was it. And that manager, that customer service was rude to this client. And they basically said they asked for their refund. They didn't want to store credit, just because of the way they were treated.
Yes. And this is something too, we come from a time, I think, when you and I both were growing up, where you didn't have, way back when, and I'm not going to say, for years ago, but when I was growing up, there were certain stores. There were, your big brand stores, like your Sears, Roebuck, and now I'm dating myself by saying Roebuck, but, these certain stores, okay, that you shopped at, you did, or whatever. And I remember a time when you would go in there and they would have people that were on the elevators that ran the elevator for you. You walked over, there was either a gentleman dressed in a suit or with a hat on, or a woman in a finely tailored suit or two-piece suit or whatever, or beautiful dress, that they did these things. And what's funny is that they would never think to say anything to you or be rude or anything like that. There was a certain persona about them that they were trained that customer service, the customer's always right. And I think that now we have come so far away from that, but also coming back from, I didn't live in a time when I was growing up where there were a lot of entrepreneurs, where it was like a single person like me starting a business, right, or, you.
And a lot of us work remotely too. So that's a little difficult too, because, a lot of us have a service that answers our phone, or a recording, or, like one of those 360 companies that picks up a service. And it's very difficult because a lot of people want to speak to a live representative.
Oh, for goodness sake. How many times have you called?
Email me that. And it's very frustrating because you learn, look, when somebody calls me, I'm going to be honest, sometimes I'm not happy and peppy because I'm dealing with 20 different things. Maybe I'm not the person who should be picking up the phone on that particular time or day.
Right.
But leave a message and someone or I will get back to you ASAP.
Right. And again, what's frustrating too is, technology. I always go with the phone, it's a blessing and a curse, technology. I love my phone. I don't leave the house without it. But it can be
a credit card you didn't leave your house without.
But. Well, I know, yes, because of all the shoes I need to purchase and the cases of wine. But, it's funny because we take for granted nowadays that things such as technology, like automated phone service, like you said, calling in, press 1 for this, press 2 for that, blah, blah, blah. Like, for example, with my prescriptions, I have a big brand prescription drugstore that I use, and I love them because they send me a nice little email that says, hey, by the way, your pills are almost out. Because clearly I can't tell that when I take them in the morning, right? But anyway, I appreciate their reminder. So I will send in, and do it that way. And then I will get a phone call. If I have not picked up, once the prescription is ready, I will get a phone call. And they will call me incessantly until I have picked that prescription up. And I have tried to get off of that automated service or whatever. I've gone online. I've done this. I've tried to talk to the local pharmacist there, and they obviously can't because they're a big brand corporation. They can't physically take me off. But I mean, it's just so frustrating. And again, I appreciate technology. I appreciate that. But another thing, calling to a store or a company and having to press, 18 different numbers to get to the department that I need, and having to listen to, our fax number, press 1, for our location, press 2, for a customer service, press 3.
Right. And even if you press 0, it brings you back to the main menu.
The main menu? It used to be you got an operator. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Oh, goodness gracious.
No such thing because, it might
You're just back to the start again.
Right. And...
It's funny, again, it's something to think about, ladies and gentlemen who are listening. Again, you are listening to We Are Beautiful Magazine Radio with Irene Pro and Karen Thomas. And today on our show, we don't have a guest today, but we like to call the days that we don't have a guest our Conversation Cafe. And today's topic is customer service. And it is a lot of times something that people kind of take for granted, and you mentioned too, sometimes there's days where, you shouldn't be answering the phone. You don't want to answer the phone or like that. Sometimes, it's okay to let it go to the voicemail. If you have a voicemail box where they can leave a message.
Right. But then again, then you get the people who don't leave a message, and it's like,
Yes.
How do I call you back? I left you no, you left messages. I'm on a system here that, records every number that comes in,
Right.
and there's no message. And, no, because someone didn't pick up quick enough. So it's almost like being on a website. You can't, that's, a bounce rate for me.
Right.
It wasn't important enough, but we call those numbers back. And we ask, we don't know who it is, and we introduce ourselves as we are Beautiful Magazine. That's what we do here. And a lot of companies don't do that because...
Well, this is because this is a tried and true way to maintain customer satisfaction by calling back, by responding, by not just looking and go, oh, well, whatever. I do...
We leave messages. We leave messages unless your mailbox is full.
Right. Well, again, it's one of those things where I think it's just important for people to stop and think about what you do. And let's even talk to our listening audience of solopreneurs or small businesses. It's key. It's important. I mean, these are some of the things that are going on, and people are talking. You may have one heck of a product. You may have one heck of a service at a great price. You could be, the top one in your industry. Okay. But if your customer service is null and void, if it is rude, if it is short, if it is not giving what your customers are needing, then you are sure to fail in those areas. And it's unfortunate, again, not to be a Debbie Downer here, but it is true that customer service can make or break a business. So, take notes, people. It is something that you want to reevaluate. And, if this is hitting a nerve with anybody who in our listening audience, then you know what? Maybe it is time to take a step back. Again, we're not perfect, okay? We are not perfect, Irene and I, in anything that we do. But, bringing up these topics that might hit a nerve with people is something that it can be a good thing, because it's something that you can correct and something you can go back and, and reevaluate in your business. And think about it, because, again, you don't want anybody. The number one reason that people start to talk or give bad reviews is because, they had a poor experience or poor customer service. And I can assure you that if they have had a bad experience, they will tell friends, and those friends will tell other friends, and it goes down the line. So it goes beyond just that one person, correct?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and here again, it's, your reviews are the most important thing. It's like there's a company to this day, okay, I can call up, and no matter what time of day, no matter who answers that phone, they're always happy.
Yes.
And their work ethics and the way that they work with their employees is amazing. But they does make a difference. I can call them, and it's even, and you're going to laugh, even when they put you on hold, their recording will say, I'm sorry that you are on hold, and you're not even on hold for a minute, but it comes in, I'm sorry you're on hold. Your phone call is very important to us. Someone will be with you shortly, which is beautiful. You don't get that anywhere else. You'll get music, or you'll get them advertising another product.
Yes. I hate that.
Right. And then all of a sudden, someone picks up the phone, and again, that's a nice, wonderful, warm, welcoming voice. Now, not everybody has, radio voices, and that's okay. And some people are like, they're afraid of talking to a customer. They shouldn't be answering the phone.
Right.
Honestly.
And I think I am a huge proponent of anybody, okay, that has any kind of business, whether you have the greatest voice or not, but just if you smile when you answer the phone, Okay, that is huge because it comes across in what you're saying. And I've done this exercise with a lot of the college students that I work with. And I'll say to them,
Well,
okay,
we do it with our team, so I think it's great. I always
right?
tell everybody, put a mirror in front of you,
And watch. Exactly. The mirror is the best teaching tool out there for anybody. If you look in the mirror when you're introducing yourself to somebody, if you look in the mirror and you introduce yourself and you're not smiling, stop and redo it again and look at how much and hear how much better your voice sounds when you're smiling, and looking in the mirror. And you might feel foolish looking in the mirror because, we get all self-conscious, but do it. And it is really a wonderful experience. Yes. And it's a lot of fun. Now we have the last 5 minutes of our show here that we usually devote to our guests and promoting their websites and all of those things like that. So at this point, what I'd like to do is, Irene, we rarely talk about our businesses and promoting them as well. So why don't you give everybody, I'd like you to give the link to the magazines and to your products and services. Why don't you talk a bit about that, how people can contact you and how people can download and subscribe to We Are Beautiful Magazine?
Well, you can find We Are Beautiful. We have quite a few different websites. One is wearebeautifulmagazine.com. And on that site, you can look at some of our magazines and purchase and subscribe. And you can subscribe for free to our, we come out every 2 weeks with a review. And it's just talking about everything that has happened in the past 2 weeks with We Are Beautiful Magazine and people that we've met. And then we have We Are Beautiful Community.com. We Are Beautiful.com community, excuse me. And that's everybody talking what's going on in our community, where you can...
new States, right? I love that section because it's nice to get little snippets of what's happening with people.
Right, what's happening with people, and we post that on our Facebook pages. If you have a story, you want your voice to be heard, please email us at support@wearebeautifulmagazine.com. Again, support@wearebeautifulmagazine.com. And you can catch us on Facebook. We have a lot of different Facebook pages. One is wearebeautifulmagazine.com or Irene Pro or We Are Beautiful Bold. And you can contact Karen and I on that Facebook page, and we'll be more than happy to get back to you ASAP with a response.
Yes, and we also have an Instagram page too for our radio show, which is We Are Beautiful Mag radio. I don't have it pulled up in front of me, so I'm trying to think off the top of my head, which doesn't work very well for me. Radio team, We Are Beautiful Radio team on Snapchat, which is not Snapchat, Instagram, which is good because you could look at the photos that we post of our Friday cocktails and also of our upcoming guests and the topics that we talk about in there. And of course, if anybody in the entire world, even, our friends in other countries or whatever, but you can find me, Karen Thomas. I am a certified educator. You can find me at www.ctetiquette.com, and you can find me across all of the social media boards such as Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and LinkedIn and all of those things. And it's a great world that we live in, and we only have about 2 minutes, a little less than 2 minutes left, but I'm glad that we were able to touch upon this topic today. But before we close out our show, I am going to talk about a cocktail that I like that we have started to drink in this household, and it seems like we have a rotating cocktail schedule. We have a little less than a minute, but have you ever had an amaretto and ginger?
No.
Well, you should try it. I like the diet ginger, but it's ginger ale and a splash of amaretto on the bottom. If you like sweet, it is wonderful. It's sweet. It goes down beautifully. It's a nice little refreshing beverage to have at the end of the day. And I'd like to make that our Friday cocktail if I could.
Okay.
And
So
I'll post a photo.
amaretto and a little ginger.
Yes, and it's very simple and it's easy and it's wonderful. But again, we'd
Does it
like to
have a
thank.
name, Karen?
No, it's just amaretto and ginger. It doesn't have a name.
Okay.
So, but you know what? In closing, we would like to thank all of our listeners out there in Radio Land, and thank you for listening into Conversation Cafe on We Are Beautiful Magazine radio show with Irene Pro and Karen Thomas. And we look forward to you tuning in again next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. You are beautiful.
Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to stop on by next week for more beautiful voices on Bold Radio.